What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that enjoyed that video yesterday. I got 14 likes, a lot of comments. I enjoyed talking to you guys about the baseball game that was going on and just having fun with you guys. I was really frustrated about that game, but the Yankees ended up pulling through and in crazy dramatic fashion. But let's talk about it. Let's actually talk about it. So I'm just going to start off by saying congratulations to the Minnesota Twins on winning 85 games this season and making it to this point of the season. Nobody expected the Twins to be here. I mean, they were awful. They were awful until pretty much mid-October, and then they just started to pick up some steam, and man, they rolled through with it. And Byron Buxton, as you guys can see, who's in this game here, he had a great season. Unfortunately, you know, the thing that happened to him later on in this game, which I'll discuss as we go forward, happened. But overall, congratulations to the Twins once again. Had a great season. But let's get into it. So this game started off New York City. The Yankee Stadium was loud. It was excited for their first playoff game since, I believe, 2012. I think it was 2015 when they lost the wild card game to Dallas Keuchel. So New York was excited. The Yankee fans were excited, like I said, once again. National anthem played, which it just felt fitting at the time, considering what had happened on Sunday night going into Monday morning, and just felt right. It just felt right, like I said, and we got started. And at the top of the first inning, Luis Severino pitched for the Yankees, and my God, did I not expect? In my video, I even stated I didn't think Sevy was gonna go just 1 1/3 inning. He literally could not locate. Fastball command wasn't there. He couldn't locate any of his breaking pitches. He was just completely off, and he gave up that leadoff home run in a 3-1 count to Brian Dozier. That didn't help, and then he ended up I think he ended up walking one guy, and then that's when Eddie Rosario, who I had mentioned in my video, I told you guys, watch out for Eddie Rosario. The emergence of Eddie Rosario was shown here tonight. He hit a big 2-run home run to put them up 3-0. They pretty much quiet Yankee Stadium for that good first inning. I mean, it was just quiet. You can just see that the fans, they just lost that electricity. They lost that belief. They were just like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. And to be honest with you, I think Sevy got lucky here. I think Sevy got lucky because if Frazier didn't seem like he had a good eye on where that ball was to me when Frazier caught it to get that one out. So he was lucky for that, but he ended up leaving the game with runners on second and third, 1 out. This prompted Joe Girardi to go to Chad Green, who I didn't think he was going to go to Chad Green. I thought he might have gone with Warren. We didn't see Warren at all in this game, which is surprising to me. But he ended up going with Chad Green, and Chad Green had a great outing. He ended up getting those 2 big strikeouts to get us out of that jam, and that was big. To keep it at 3-0 after that was huge. And the Yankees, it was their time to respond. And I had said on Twitter, if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, make sure to follow me on Twitter, BLN437, same as my YouTube channel. I was just like, listen, we need to score 1 run here. The Yankees have to at least score 1 run. If the Yankees don't score any runs here, it's going to be really bad. New York is going to, you can just tell that electricity wasn't going to be there if they didn't score. And credit to Gardner. He started off the at-bat. He made Irvin Santana work to try to get him out. Didn't get him out. Ended up walking Irvin Santana, walking Brett Gardner. And then afterwards, we had Aaron Judge, who got that big base hit where he kind of just fought a pitch off. It didn't seem like he really got any good barrel of the bat on it. He just muscled that ball into center field. And it was runners on first and third. Gary Sanchez ended up, I believe, striking out. And that led to Didi Gregorius. My God, I don't know where the love is. Why there isn't any love for Didi Gregorius? He's like a top 5 shortstop to me. He's a top 5 shortstop. I'm not gonna say he's better than Correa. I'm not gonna say he's better than Lindor, and I'm not gonna say he's better than Seager. I'm not saying that he's better than those guys. But to me, you have to put him in the top 5. If you want to put, if you want to have it as Correa, Lindor, or Correa, Seager, Lindor, and then Crawford and San Francisco, and then Didi, I'm fine with that. Or Andrews instead of Crawford, but I think Didi deserves that love of being a top 5 shortstop. He was hitting well last season towards the end, and he's continued that hot hitting going on to this season and to the postseason. But anyways, he hit a big 3-run home run. New York City, Yankee Stadium was electric once again. It was a tie game, and Irvin Santana, you can kind of see that he didn't have his best stuff. I guess maybe the 30 minutes kind of just that first inning for the Twins where it lasted almost like 30 minutes was just really bad on him. He just couldn't find it anymore. He just seemed like he didn't have it, and it cost him. And later on in the game, or I don't even think later on in the game. I believe it was the next inning. You have that big base hit where they score. No, I'm sorry, they didn't get a big base hit. Brett Gardner hit a home run in the second inning, and that gave the Yankees a 4-3 lead. And at that point, you can tell that Irvin Santana was going to be taken out of the game at either that inning or the following inning. So they ended up doing that. They ended up bringing Jose Urias, who I had mentioned in my video that that's who they were going to go to if he could not go longer than that, because the bullpen for the Twins it's awful. They don't have a pen. So they ended up going with Jose Urias. He pitched decent at the beginning. Then he eventually gave up a double to Gary Sanchez. I believe that was in the fourth inning. Gave up the double to Gary Sanchez. And then he had 2 outs. And Greg Bird, he came back towards the end of September. Was pretty big for the Yankees down the stretch. Ended up proving to be big here in this game. Got a base hit to right field, and that scored Sanchez, which I didn't think that Sanchez was going to be able to make it from second to home with the ball hit to right field. But he proved me wrong. Sanchez was hustling all the way, got to home plate, and it ended up being a 5-4 game. And then in the next inning, Berrios still in the game, gives up a 2-run bomb. Well, not really a 2-run bomb. It was a 2-run line drive home run by Aaron Judge. And at that point, I was excited. I was just jumping all over the place. I was just loud. And Yankee Stadium, to me, I love Old Yankee Stadium. As you guys can see in this gameplay, I'm playing at Old Yankee Stadium. Old Yankee Stadium has a huge piece of my heart. And the one thing about Old Yankee Stadium is when moments like that happens, where Judge hits a big home run and this is a big game, the stadium shakes. And last night that stadium was shaking, man. It reminded me back of the those old Yankee teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, just coming back, not ever giving up, just continuing to peck away and try to get back into the game, and they did, and then eventually taking the lead there. And once Aaron Judge hit that home run, you can kind of just see that the Twins didn't have anything left after that. I mean, you couldn't keep Jose Berrios in the game, because if he was going to give up more runs, then that just puts you further back from the Yankees. And you can just tell, like I said, and I had said this in my video as well, that the Twins could not afford Irvin Santana to have a game like this. He needed to go 6 innings like he did in early September or middle of September when they had played the Yankees in that 3-game set and the Yankees had swept them, and they didn't get that Irvin Santana today. They got a really bad Irvin Santana, and I really thought that Berrios would probably show up today. He didn't show up, and once the Yankees got that 7-4 lead, it was just it. I mean, Berrios had to be taken out of the game. Like I said, you don't really want to risk giving up any more runs in that situation, because you don't know if he's going to be able to give you any more innings that, to me, were going to be of any impact. But what gets lost here as well, because I haven't mentioned it yet, was that Chad Green went about 2 innings. He got the last 2 outs in the first. He pitched pretty much all of the second inning, and then he kind of struggled in the third inning. He walked the bases loaded with 1 out, and that was pretty much it for his day. He still pitched pretty well. He still kept the game. He still kept us in the game. Obviously, he ended up putting himself in a situation where we gave up the lead, and it became a 4-4 game, because when David Robertson came in, he tried to get the double play, but Byron Buxton is just so fast. And so much respect to Chad Green. I always said that Chad Green is a dangerous reliever. He's one of those relievers you have to be very careful with. I didn't think he was going to be coming in the 6th inning. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought he was going to come in. I didn't think he was going to come in the 1st inning. I mean, I thought he would be coming in the 6th inning, maybe 7th, to give us that bridge to Chapman. That didn't happen. He had to come in the 1st inning, and he responded well to that. And David Robinson, man, hats off to David freaking Robinson. I mean, if that dude doesn't, earn a whole bunch of people's respect after his performance, I don't know what to say. I mean, I respected David Robinson's decision of wanting to try to get that final out in the 6th inning, but you can just tell he ran out of gas. He was tired. If Gary Sanchez had probably caught that ball where it kind of hit his groin, and Dozier would have been out, you probably would have seen a different result. He probably would have been able to finish off the inning. But at that point, you can just tell he was running out of fumes. It was time to take him out. This is where the game kind of was a little shaky for me. I didn't know where the Yankees were going to go here. I didn't know if the Yankees were going to go with Canely, or if they wanted to go with Warren, because I thought that Warren might come in. Well, I also thought I might see Betances in this game. Didn't see any of those guys. They pretty much ended up giving Canely the ball here. Canely ended up throwing great innings there. I think he pitched the 7th and the 8th. It was, and then he pitched the 7th and the 8th, I believe. And And Aroldis Chapman just pitched a perfect ninth inning. I mean, to me, that was picture perfect. That's exactly what the Yankees needed, what they wanted out of that moment. I mean, he gave up the base hit to Joe Mauer, but other than that, it was a clean inning for Aroldis Chapman. He has life back on his fastball. He has all those breaking pitches working again, and that's a good sign. Now, if Dellin Betances could get some innings in, and I guess that'll probably be in the division series, we'll see if he can be back to form. But one of the things I want to talk about before I get off this video and before I finish this video as well, no one's talking about Miguel Sano. Now, Miguel Sano had a huge game going in, or not a huge game, I'm sorry. He had a huge first half for the Twins. Wasn't really able to play the second half due to the fact that he fouled the ball off his leg. I really thought he was going to be able to play this game today. He did not. And to me, if he's in this lineup and he's playing in this game tonight, I don't think the Yankees win this game. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, the fact that you have to look at the situations that the Twins were in. They had runners on second and third in that first inning where Severino got in trouble. That could have been a whole lot worse if Miguel Sano was in the lineup and Luis Severino couldn't freaking locate his pitches. Then there was the bases loaded jam that Chad Green got himself into in the third inning. Once again, if Miguel Sano was in that lineup, the Twins might be able to score another 2 or 3 runs there and probably taking the lead. Then you have the inning where David Robertson gets into a little bit of a jam, where runners on first and third and they take him out and they bring in Canely. He could have easily impacted that inning as well. Even if he wasn't batting, with just the fact that he's in their lineup and he adds that depth in that Twins lineup. And the fact that the Twins don't have that or didn't have that in this game, really, you can see that on top of the bullpen really hurt them. They need Miguel Sano in that lineup, just like they need a good bullpen. And the bullpen will come. The bullpen, they'll have to figure it out. I think you can get some good cheap bullpen pieces in the offseason. See if they pan out for you, but you can't replace a Miguel Sano. Miguel Sano adds 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, and a 280, average, and just can absolutely hit. And that's what the Twins were missing. I mean, Joe Mauer, like I said, I told you guys he was going to have a decent showing. He did have a decent showing. He played pretty well. Dozier hit that bomb. I had mentioned that Dozier needed to play well. He did as well. And I had mentioned Rosario, like I said, and Rosario hit that big, 2-run home run that gave them a 3-0 lead. So, the players that I expected to show up actually showed up. Byron Buxton wasn't able to show up because I believe it was in the 4th inning. I think it was the 4th inning, like right around that time, right before David Robertson came in, or maybe after Robertson came in. I don't remember the ending, so sorry if I can't recall it. There was just so much that happened in this game. He literally made probably one of the greatest catches I've seen in Yankee Stadium, in this Yankee Stadium at least, in a long time. I mean, he stole a base hit from Todd Frazier, and it just looked absolutely beautiful, dude. At that point, I was so mad. I was so frustrated. I was like, wow. But I had to give him respect, man. Respect to that dude for making that catch. I kind of wonder now if he can go back, would he have not, try to crash into the wall just because his team could have used his bat in that lineup and he was such a good offensive threat for them in the second half? Would he have probably just let that ball, dunk in and let Frazier go for 2 and have Frazier with a double and see if his bullpen or his, pitcher can get him out of that inning? That's the kind of thing that I think about when these players make those type of, catches that could hurt their bodies. Is, do they think about maybe trying to just let that ball fall through, and if they, if it's a double, whatever, if it's a triple, let's see if we can try to work out of it. I don't know, but all I know is that the Twins played a great game. The Yankee bullpen showed why it is deep, why it has that depth, and quite honestly, this was a great Minnesota, Twins team. They didn't quit. They fought to the end. They had some spurts where they could have, done some damage. They weren't able to do it. The Yankees were able to, contain it. And that's it. And I believe that the Yankees do have a shot at the Indians, but that's another video for another day, like I said. So tomorrow, you guys, or later on, you guys are going to get the prediction videos for the NL. And if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well. Let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And, let's talk more about baseball. That's what I like to do.